European newspapers have expressed profound alarm at the declaration of an ideological war by the Trump administration, a sentiment echoed by the New York Times, which suggests that Putin might soon realize his dream. This year's Munich Security Conference starkly revealed the chasm in fundamental values separating the Trump administration from the majority of European nations, igniting widespread concern over U.S. attempts to unilaterally control the Ukraine peace process and effectively exclude European governments. Sylvie Kaufmann, writing for a prominent French publication, asserted that through the actions of its vice president, J.D. Vance, the U.S. has effectively. While Vladimir Putin famously launched a similar attack on the U.S. in a 2007 Munich Security Conference speech, in 2025, the tables have seemingly turned, with the U.S. now targeting Europe. Vance, in what Kaufmann described as a virulent diatribe against European democracies, accused these nations of stifling freedom of speech and religion, claiming that the gravest threat to Europe wasn't Russia or China, but rather Europe's own purse. Kaufmann further criticized Vance's relative silence on the issue, most pressing to European attendees, Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, highlighting how this omission exacerbates incomprehension and confusion over Trump's initiative aimed at ending the war. Kaufmann's analysis suggests that the U.S. administration's actions represent a potential preview, under Mr. Trump, of a redefinition of a transatlantic relationship built on post-war bonds of stability, between. The article also revisited Putin's 2007 speech, recalling his demand for a rollback of American influence and a new balance of power in Europe more suitable to Moscow, noting that his aspirations remained unfulfilled at that time. Daniel Brösler, a commentator for the Süddeutsche Zeitung, characterized Vance's appearance in Munich not as a friendly wake-up call, but rather as the actions of an arsonist. Brösler framed Vance's mission as the triumph of right-wing populism, with the backing of America's billionaire chief Elon Musk. He concluded with a stark warning that the continent will have to rise above itself. Detlef Essinger, an editorialist for the same publication, observed that Vance employed a trick that populists and authoritarians have used for years. The principle is, accuse others of exactly everything that you do yourself. The Süddeutsche Zeitung's editorial delivered a blunt assessment. The U.S. administration is ready to hand Russia a win in its brutal war against Ukraine. That's the only conclusion we can make. The editorial emphasized that the words and actions of Trump and his team extend beyond appeasement, signifying a profound shift in the transatlantic relationship. The implications are far-reaching, potentially jeopardizing decades of established alliances and collaborative efforts. This aggressive stance, coupled with the disregard for European concerns regarding the Ukrainian conflict, paints a picture of a drastically altered geopolitical landscape, raising serious questions about the future of transatlantic cooperation and the stability of the European security architecture. The perceived betrayal of long-standing alliances, coupled with the seemingly deliberate undermining of European efforts to resolve the conflict in Ukraine, creates a climate of distrust and uncertainty, with potentially dire consequences for regional and global security. The sheer audacity of the accusations leveled against European democracies, while simultaneously ignoring the egregious actions of Russia, further exacerbates this sense of betrayal and underscores the profound chasm in values between the Trump administration and its European counterparts. The potential consequences of this ideological war are far-reaching and potentially devastating, threatening to destabilize the post-war order and create new opportunities for autocratic regimes to gain influence. The underlying implications are not merely political, but represent a fundamental challenge to the principles of democratic governance and international cooperation. The long-term ramifications of this shift in the transatlantic relationship remain uncertain, but the immediate concerns are palpable, prompting urgent reassessment of the strategic alliances and priorities that have defined the post-Cold War world. The actions of the Trump administration have arguably initiated a profound realignment of global power dynamics, with uncertain outcomes for both Europe and the United States. The complete disregard for the concerns and opinions of its European allies represents a significant departure from established norms of transatlantic cooperation, raising profound questions about the future of this critical partnership. The potential ramifications of this ideological conflict extend far beyond the immediate concerns of the Ukraine war, threatening to unravel decades of collaborative efforts and destabilize the international order. The implications for global security are substantial, demanding careful consideration and strategic reassessment from all involved parties.